So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Obsy. Thanks for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to be doing a chit chat get ready with me. I feel like it has been a very long time since I did that on this channel. And I have a couple of things that I would like to be sharing on this channel, just my thoughts. Sometimes I like to have interesting conversations with people, but since I don't have anyone to talk to about it, I rather talk to you guys. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about a very controversial topic, which I have been shying away from. For a very long time I want to talk about this because I like to know your thought process as well. I'm going to be talking about relationships, but the aspects I'm going to be focusing on would be cohabitation and celibacy, the advantages and possible disadvantages. It's going to be an interesting one. And yeah, so I'm going to be looking on this side because my makeup stuff, everything is here. I do not have a table to face directly to the camera. All right, so I have already done my brows and just to make things a bit easier. So let's get right into the topic. Okay, before we start, let's talk about what is cohabitation and what is celibacy, right? So cohabitation is basically living with your partner before marriage. So maybe you guys are already dating, you're in a relationship, you just decided to move in together before he eventually puts a ring on it. Peradventure, he has already put a ring on it and you guys are already working towards getting married. I don't really want to say that it's cohabitation because there is already that in the works. But yeah, some people will also call it cohabitation because it hasn't been official yet. The protocol hasn't been made, like, court wedding, traditional rites, so it's still cohabitation. I hope I'm not trying to take away the meaning from the word, but cohabitation is basically living with your partner before marriage. And celibacy is basically abstaining from sex, deciding not to engage in any sexual activity before marriage. So let's start from cohabitation. My question now would be, is it advisable to live with your partner before marriage? For my eyeshadow, I'm going to be using, it's a long time I've used this palette, the Perception palette. It's the Shayla and Colourpop collaboration. Oh my god, it's a long time I did a makeup video on this channel. So what would you say? Would you advise that people live together before marriage? While I can see the advantage of that, let me speak from the other side of the coin. So a lot of people would probably say that they would want to stay with their partner, mostly men of course, but some women would not mind to live with their partner before marriage. Reason being that they feel that that's the best time to get to know your partner, get to understand your partner before the marriage itself, getting to know if this is the kind of person that you'd like to spend most of the rest of your life with. I see reasons that I kind of understand where they are coming from, like those group of people. I was also of that opinion as well because I'm the kind of person that doesn't like my marriage to be awkward. I don't like the marriage to be a growing field. I mean, it's a growing field already, so I wouldn't want that awkwardness at the beginning stage. First of all, we have a lot of differences, and then finding out those differences that I feel like might not really be comfortable with me in the marriage can actually put a strain in the marriage. So I completely understand because there are some non-negotiables that people have in marriages. Say you don't have OCD. I mean OCD as per the disease, not like the over cleanliness type. I mean OCD as per you cannot go a day without touching something, without arranging. A lot of things make you feel uncomfortable. Obviously, you have to put that into perspective. Your partner doesn't understand that condition and is also not an understanding person. So yes, I completely understand from that point of view. It would be nice to live with your partner to know if you guys are compatible, but I'm almost 30 guys and I completely disagree with that notion because I feel like there are also other ways to get to know and understand your partner before actually living with them. So you can actually get to know your partner by obviously spending time together but not necessarily living together. Let's say it doesn't get to the point of marriage. What then happens? Then you start moving out. I feel like you can get to know your partner in other ways without having to be in the same roof 24/7. Obviously, when you're on vacation, you get to stay in the same room with your partner. You can have like weekend sleepover where he comes over to your place or you go over to his place. I just feel like in the dating stage, you should always have your own place that you can go to every time, because sometimes he will piss you off, you piss each other off, and you just need your space. And that kind of helps you study yourself more and also gives you time and space to reevaluate the relationship to know if this is something that you want to proceed with. But if you're in the same space, it's almost as if you are forced to actually solve the problem. Even if you know it is a problem for you, it's like you are actually forced to, make sure that this thing works. And then you find out that you keep giving a lot of yourself. You actually give 100 of yourself to make sure that the relationship works. And when it ends up not working out, then it's like you end up losing yourself in the process. Which I'm not saying that if you don't stay together, you're not 100% committed. You are. It's just better to do it from a distance. It's about getting to know the person and getting to understand the person. You talk every day. In the process of talking every day, I feel like you actually have intimate moments. And when I say intimate moments, I don't mean it has to be like sexual. Intimacy to me means that you're actually vulnerable. You open yourself up to your partner and this person understands you without even you saying a word, because you have been able to shatter that wall or bring down those walls so that the person can best relate with you in a manner that both of you understand. So once you're able to have that intimacy within yourselves, I don't think that it's necessary to be in the same apartment or live together without actually taking the right steps. Secondly, when it comes to religion, that biblically it's not actually right, because then you create an avenue to commit sin. I'm not saying that without that you don't still commit sin, but that's the whole point, because things can go left. I feel like sometimes the Bible tells us what to do just for our own good, to help us. Because say for instance you end up living with your partner and it turns out that you guys have sex and then you get pregnant, that already is a family right there. That already is a family that you're about to start, and it's almost as if like you are forced to be a mother and a wife at the same time, and he has not put a ring on it. It just gives you like added responsibilities that you were not even prepared for. And let's just say he turns out to not be that guy that you thought he was, then it's like, what do you now do? You end up being a single mom, or you end up by yourself. So it's like the Bible just tells us these things to protect us. I wouldn't really see it as if you do this you're sinning against God. Yes, more so sinning against yourself, because the whole point or the whole idea is to protect you. It's for your own good. It's better if you do things the right way. It makes you have leverage and have a ground, to stand on. There's a foundation that you are leaning on. If you go and make your vows in front of God, or if you do like court wedding or traditional rites, it just makes you have something to hold on to regardless of what happens in future. It solidifies the relationship and makes you know that you're both on the same page. So my next point is actually going to be, when you start living with your partner before marriage, it tends to make the man very comfortable. Men will go as far as you let them. That's one thing you have to know. So when you give a man inches, he will try miles, and he will keep trying as long as you keep letting him. When you stay with a man, especially as a woman, we have this nurturing spirit and this nurturing nature in us that just comes very naturally. It comes naturally when you're in love. When you have a child, you're in love with your child, so you tend to nurture and take care of your child. The same way when you have a man in your house, because men are babies, you just have that nurturing feeling to take care of them, to care for them, because you are in love with them. So when a man has not put a ring on it, maybe he has told you that okay, yeah, he has plans, he sees you in his future. In my opinion, I feel like you should let them be men of their words. I don't trust what men say. That's something I have learned over the years. They know what women want to hear. Once a man wants to do something, he's gonna do it. Like, he doesn't need any convincing. So the moment you agree to live in with him before actually making this obvious step, honey, you become a wife before marriage. It's like you're giving this guy everything for free. Steve Harvey would say, you need to make a man see what he can get, but let him imagine what he can have. In that sense, it's like he can see the kind of person that you are, all the qualities he looks for in a woman. Let him imagine what it means to have that at his corner 24/7. Because once he sees everything, it's almost as if he's looking for more. And once he cannot get more, that's the end. They give up. They feel like they can find something else somewhere else. Let them crave to have you to themselves. It's gonna be a privilege to have this woman as my wife. Once you're in love, they say, Namu, they do love. If you know what that means, it basically means love makes us stupid. Just give it time, give it space, let them actually do the right things. Let a man take charge. If a man says I want you, if a man wants to marry you, let him prove that he wants to marry you. You actually also make them feel very comfortable. For the eyeliner, I used the Maybelline Hyper Precise All Day Matte Liner. For my mascara, I'm using the Lancome Hypnose Drama, my ultimate favorite mascara. The next I'm going to say is that once you start living with your partner, you give them the avenue to take advantage of you. you. You know, they start feeling like you need them more than they need you because you're already doing the things that they want. You're already cooking for them, you're cleaning for them, you're being there for them. It becomes a them thing than you thing, and it's almost as if the only thing that you would be wanting at that point in time would be for them to put a ring on it. I would just tell you that to maintain your respect and dignity, just stay in your house. You know, let them see that without them you can exist. You can actually be your own person without them, without showing too much of the masculine energy that you possess. But now that you want to come into my life, you're gonna add value. The last thing I would say concerning cohabitation is you always have to remember that you are the price. Don't ever forget that. That's why they pay bride price at the end of the day. Some people don't agree with it because they feel like they are being bought, but I don't think so. I just feel like it's a symbol of how far the man is ready to go to actually have it to themselves. It's just a fundamental right that has to be performed. You need a man that is serious. You don't need a man that is trying to see and going with the flow. You need a man that is ready to be a man in your life. Let's move on to celibacy. So celibacy is basically not having sex. When we're younger, our parents used to advise us not to have sex before marriage. Most of the time, the only reason they were telling us was to avoid pregnancy. That was their main focus, so that you don't have a child outside wedlock. And they've made it seem like a taboo, or like you've committed one huge crime that can never be forgiven. But they failed to realize other importance of celibacy, which they didn't really focus on. And if they did, I feel like a lot of us would take celibacy seriously, or would actually see the importance of not having sex. The main point I'm going to highlight in this whole video on celibacy is that it gives clarity. I cannot even emphasize that enough. You've come to this age where like you're trying to figure out life and what you want to do with your career. You're literally trying to navigate this terrible world that we live in today, and then you bring in a child in this economy. I'm telling you that is really tough. It's a very tough thing to do, and if you're doing that alone, kudos. Aside from avoiding like pregnancies and whatnot, you know, because men today, they can say that they want to be in the child's life. Tomorrow they can wake up and say they don't want to be again. Tomorrow they can say they want to do a DNA test, and you have to deal with that. I'm not saying they cannot do it in marriage, but marriage again solidifies things. It makes you have something tangible to hold on to. But when you are not legally married and you're just doing boyfriend girlfriend, I'm not saying that you don't have anything to hold on to, because yeah, you might be officially dating, sometimes you might not be, and then the next thing is you're pregnant, maybe he's also dating other people and you're not aware. It just also helps you avoid problems. Okay, so whilst I wait for my eyelashes to dry, I'm going to be using the Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched primer. For my foundation, I'm going to be using the Givenchy foundation, Givenchy Prisme Lib. Love this foundation. I was trying to say that apart from the fact that it helps you to control, I was going to say control pregnancy, it helps you to not fall into the trap of getting pregnant by a man that is not going to take responsibility. It's not easy to be a single mom. I figured that like the reason why people don't really think about it as much anymore is because a lot of women have found a way to survive. The thing is, a lot of women don't really even talk about the struggles that they go through in raising a kid alone. Raising a kid is different from just dumping money. The biggest point I was going to say in this whole video is that it gives clarity. If you meet somebody, there's a high chance, especially if you've already been sexually active, there's a high chance that you might be vulnerable at some point and you might want to engage in sexual intimacy. While that might make you get comfortable to an extent, in the sense that it breaks off some kind of barrier, you kind of have this extra connection, there's a high chance that you might fall in love. So for my concealer, I'm going to be using the MAC Studio Fix 24 Hours Concealer. It's called the 24 Hours Smooth Wear Concealer, but I'm going to be mixing it with my trusted Fenty Beauty concealer. I'm using it in the shade NC48. I'm using this in shade 340. And people have different definition of celibacy. Like some people say it's only sex, some people say it's kissing, making out, and sex is everything. I would say that it really is beneficial to abstain from sex because you tend to know the person that you're dealing with clearly. You don't have emotions involved. Now, the intimacy, in my opinion, should come from the fact that you guys are able to communicate and that you guys understand yourselves, not the sexual part. Because once you involve the sexual part, you will not be able to see the red flags anymore. So obviously you should already know the kind of man that you want. You should already have your values and non-negotiables. So that's what you'll be looking out for when you meet someone. Trying to see what are their own values, do they align with your own values. These are the things that you look out for. Leave sex out of it, because sex will not let you see the things that you would have seen if you did not have sex. I don't know if that makes sense. You'll be able to see the red flags clearly. You will not see pink, reddish rose. You will not see I don't even know, you will not see maroon, you will see it clearly. This is a red flag and run away. To be honest, it's quite easier to run away once you know that you have not committed, first of all, emotionally, secondly, sexually. It's easier for you to remove yourself from the equation because then you are not emotionally attached to this person. You're also not sexually dependent on this person as well. So it helps you, you know, get rid of those toxic relationships that you might fall prey to because you just decide to overlook one or two things. Don't get me wrong, because you have to also be sexually attracted to the person that you want to be with. That is something that is very important. But do not engage because you want to be able to see the other values, the other things that make up a good relationship. Something that I was looking red before, we start looking peach. Maybe he'll work on it later. Maybe I can change him. You cannot change no man. A man will change because they want to change. Prioritize yourself. For my under eye setting powder, I'm using the Huda Beauty in Blondie. Hey, I was supposed to contour my face, so what talking has done now. So I'm using my Bobbi Brown foundation stick. This is in the shade Espresso 10. So I don't really do a lot of cream contouring. So for my contour, I'm using the Fenty Beauty in Coconutty. So I just literally use it to set the parts where I actually contoured. I'm also going to layer the contour with the Fenty Beauty Mocha Mami. So I'm going to use my eyeliner in Feline. This is the MAC eyeliner. I'm going to use that to line my lash line. I'm also going to use a tiny brush and go with one of the eyeshadows that I used. So I have this baby mascara. This is a Chanel one in Noir Allure. I usually use that for like the under eye because it's small and I can control it. This I didn't buy it. I think it was a gift. Sorry guys, there has been so many breaks in transmission, but for my lips I use the Chestnut lip liner from MAC, and for my lipstick I'm going to be using the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in London. It's one of the best nude lipsticks. I'm going to be using this lip gloss from Trendy Top. It's a clear Power Shine lip gloss. So that is my face done. I'm gonna have to go do my hair, come back and round up this video. Alright guys, I'm finally done with my hair and my makeup. I hope you guys like the look. So to round up this video on cohabitation and celibacy, like I was saying earlier, celibacy would literally give you clarity and it will help you to identify the red flags of the person trying to talk to you. You can make your decisions in the right frame of mind and you'll be able to see if this person is actually serious with you or this person is just trying to get in your pants. There are some questions that the significant other or the guy can be asking you that would just basically let you know that okay, yeah, this person is not here for a long time, just for a good time, and it's left to you to make a decision if you want to carry on with this person or if you want to exit that situation. You also have inner peace with yourself when you just stick to yourself, or when you just keep yourself to yourself, if that makes sense. I just feel like sometimes you just need to like take control of the situation, like take charge, you know, because again you are the prize and they are trying to get to be with you. I'm not saying play a game, I'm not saying that you should do hard to get. There's obviously no like time frame as to when you can be vulnerable sexually. That is left to you to decide, but I'm just saying that in the initial phase, give yourself time. Don't be in a hurry to fall into the arms of this person just because they are very charming or they say the right things and they make you soft or they have your weak spots. Nah, don't fall into the trap. I'm telling you, it's a trap. Men will tell you what you want to hear, so make sure you let them show you actions. Yes, words are good, but it has to be backed up by action. I mean, everything in this video is still your decision to make. I rest my case in this video. I hope this video was nice, enjoyable and helpful. I completely enjoyed filming this thing. It has been a while I filmed a get ready with me or a chit chat get ready with me. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you're new to my channel, please do not leave without hitting the subscribe button. Like this video and of course share it to your friends and your loved ones, and I'm going to see you in my next one.